Welcome to Fixing with Friends. I'm your host, that guy you know, or you will if you continue watching. And today we begin our journey in Chapter 1 of the $300 painting adventure. So that means trim removal. And if you've never removed trim before you start, you need to accept the fact that trim is quite breakable, especially on older cars, and anytime you touch it, you risk breaking it. So if you can't accept that, don't try to remove them. Anyway, let's get started. Alright, so I have to pull off the drip rail, which I have never done before, but I was told you have to use a putty knife, and we'll see how this goes. Be careful as you remove the drip rail. If you kink any metal trim, you're not putting it back on. Once you've got it started, it helps if you do an upward twisting motion as you remove the rest. So there are a bunch of little clips in here. I imagine if you have the special tool, you go in from the top and slide the tool in and pop them off. Okay, that was a lot easier than I expected. Alright, so now we're going to pull off these rear quarter C-pillar emblems. As with everything else, I'm leery about breaking it because it's old. As far as I can tell, it's basically just pulling it off and wiggling it. There is a special tool. As always, I don't have it. Artistic sunset shot. I'm worried this is screwed on. It's just a credit card, but I have this. Again, not really concerned about the paint because I have to repaint it. It's not doing anything. Nothing at all. Here, I'll show you. Well, that would explain why it was so wobbly. One was already snapped. I don't know if I can push that out or not, but I'll give it a try. There's a sort of bumpy clip thing here. So I think you can just barely make out the prongs sticking out there. And I'll try and push them in with the screwdriver. You can see there where the top right hand one snapped, but old plastic is crappy. While I have it off, I think I'll do a bit of a refresh. Well, gently, you fool.
see more of the poor prior paint job here. Just cracking, falling off. It doesn't matter if I paint it on top or not. So I have to strip the whole car. I found it. I can try and glue it together, I don't know. Maybe I'll have to get a whole new emblem. Alright, this side. That one's really snug on there. And it definitely good. Of course I did. Well, it's no more broken than the other one. Okay, you must be able to get to it from the other side because this bottom one has no access. It's a vent. So if you want to do trim properly, buy the tools. So it's a little late, so I can't really drill the rivets out on these panels, or bits of trim. But I think I can at least take the silicone off of the sunroof. I want to make it flush. If I'm taking it off to paint it, I'm going to take a crack at it. We'll see. I would take it out entirely, but if I welded a new piece of sheet metal in the roof, the interior roof panel would have a hole in it, and I don't have a replacement, so yeah, probably not doing that, but hopefully I can at least drop it down so that the window is flush with the rest of the roof line. Then it won't look so dumb, and it'll be a little bit more aerodynamic. Why did I do this again? Oh yeah, rain, water. It wasn't leaking there, but I just wanted to make sure, because it was leaking at the old seal here. Pretty green thing. I just realized if all goes well, I'm not going to be using this again, so it doesn't really matter if I clean off the side of it, just the roof. Oh, this reminds me of cutting silicone off of something. Alright, now I just need to sweep this off, and that's probably it for today. It's probably safe to assume this hood emblem is mounted the same way as the emblems on the side. I'll give it a look. Okay, I brought a portable sun. So of course you can't actually reach it from here, but it is mounted differently. So maybe I'm just gonna wait till I pull the hood off before I pull the
I wasn't originally planning on removing the hood, but it'll definitely make taking the emblem off easier. And I should repaint the underside anyway. Oh, take a look. So now we're going to pull the side trim off. Kind of like it because it splits up an otherwise very bland panel, but if I ever put a body kit on, it's not really going to work. So after I pull this off, I'm going to weld up the holes, and maybe a pinstripe will replace it later, we'll see. Alright, show you how that works. Alright, you pull out the strip of vinyl. That gives you access to all the rivets. I hope those are aluminum and not stainless steel. I think they're aluminum. It's always best if you keep them together once you pull them off because they're different lengths. So what you'll find with some of these is over time, as the vinyl heats up and cools down, it shrinks, or just heats up I should say. It shrinks and then it doesn't expand again. It's not very elastic. Anyway, so it gives you a little gap. So in that sense, I mean, some of the gaps are pretty big and doesn't look the greatest anyway, but you are also losing a door bumper. So in the track you have a whole bunch of little rivets, and it's just a matter of drilling them out. In my experience, I've done a lot of work with rivets just from boats. It's best to try and match the size as close you can to the actual rivet. I'll show you what I do. There's a technique that seems to work fairly well. And this lower panel, which I will be keeping, I don't know, I like it. And also I can put the body panel on underneath. So I will be keeping this panel, but taking it off for painting still. Just drill rivets again. It's not anything special, just a really, really massive amount of rivets on one side, and on the other side much fewer. I've seen a lot of them with these installed. I don't know if it was a dealership option or what, but completely inconsistent. I'm a little concerned about what I'm going to do with the antenna, because this foam stuff is turned rock hard, and if I undo it, it could just crumble to pieces. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Right, so I found 2 drill bits, but neither of the ones that I need, so I guess I have to go buy some as well. I might be able to make do with this one. As you can kind of see, it's slightly narrower. I would like it a little bit closer. So I'll give it a try, I guess. Ideally, if you can't get to the back, you want to use just a hair shy of the width so that you can kind of pull it out, because once the pin, this bit, gets pushed out, you can just yank them out, if there's enough of the hole missing.
Not going to work. Sure, now it just comes right out. You can do anything. This one needs to be tapped in first. Always leery, it's going to just bend the car. I'm tapping very gently. If you get the right size, you can just often pull it right back out on the drill bit.
Pro tip, after you drill a few, you can use them as a depth guide.
So, in my hand, these are the rivets from the driver's side, and these are the rivets from the passenger side. So as you can see, there's a pretty significant difference. You can see here there's just two ever so often on the wider sections and one in the middle, whereas on the other side it's three, like 4 times more often. Anyway, it's way too many.
So, that's chapter 1. If you guys want to follow along, hit the subscribe button. And next time we're going to jump into pulling some of the other larger parts off, and we'll see where we get to after that. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.